blueprint's real effectiveness stems from it was the first critical analysis of the workforce in the northern area and its capability, and also importantly identifying what were the barriers to people actually participating in both current opportunities but also looking at towards the future industry establishment and what those future barriers may be. And allied to that is really then putting in place a strategy to address those barriers to ensure people do have access and do have the opportunity to participate in that development opportunity. It revealed that it's not a generic approach that needed. Putting together bespoke opportunities or opportunities that people can actually tangibly relate to and actually develop a response to enable them to get into the workforce. A couple of ones were the staggering figures about the low levels of literacy and numeracy in young people, and that was particularly important because they are really the future workforce that's going to be available for the economic growth and the companies themselves, and identifying agendas to address that was probably the most powerful statement to come from that blueprint. I think the foundation it set was to really understand what industry opportunity there was and what were the likely needs for that industry, and then make defined actions that can actually ensure that the community understands where that industry is going in a workforce need, and then the trainers and other levels of government to put together strategies and actual initiatives on the ground for those people to get on that path to ensure they do have access to those companies. And I think that was the most powerful statement coming from that agenda. You don't actually have to build a new foundation to start on. The contacts and the linkages with industry, the government and the community and the actual enterprise at an enterprise level was really central to everybody coming together to understand what is actually required. And I think that's probably the single most important outcome that then gives you the opportunity for whatever happens in a future economic sense and population sense, you actually understand and you have those networks and connections in place you can go and tap into and then build from again without re-establishing that framework. From my perspective, I think there's a level of awareness when these initiatives are put in train. There's a lot of upfront promotion and positioning. When you start to look at downstream 2 years, 3 years afterwards, what is going to keep that momentum going? And I think that is a real area to keep a focus on, not only for this initiative, but any other core initiative in the North, is you actually have to maintain a momentum, and that takes effort. It's not set and forget, it's actually constantly working on and constantly working with your partners to ensure that you're either on track or off track, and if you're off track, you then put in place actions to fix it, because nobody is going to say from the beginning, we've got this right. And I think that's always a trap, and if you don't address that issue, you get this stop-start mentality of creating initiatives which people soon lose interest in. Our role as council, we have a keen perspective on what those opportunities look like. And this council, together with the other councils and government, have spent a lot of time and effort in actually developing an economic agenda for the North. That is starting to come through in terms of building on new industries. For example, the NDIS and health sector is a particular segment. But there is this base level of industry development in communications, defence, transport, logistics, food, etc. That agenda really presents the opportunity for the community in a workforce sense, but also community generally participating in that economic outcome. Those pieces of work create this sense, I think, of excitement and possibility, and it just reinforces the need for the next iteration of the blueprint, which is maintaining that relevance to that growth in that sector. The second area is about building the population capability, because these industries are going to demand workforces, and there's always a necessity to maintain a flow of suitably qualified and capable and flexible employees to meet the industry's needs.